But by giving the frequency, supposing out of 100, 60 turns to be by both handers, and 20 right handers and 20 left handers. Then that gives a kind of magnitude which you can use for any kind of analysis. Particularly nominal scale is good for analysis by chi-square. Some non-parametric tests can use to get benefit from nominal scale. And we take nominal scale because it is not always possible that we get scales in higher order, that is ordinal, interval, ratio. In some situations, we are bound to face a nominal kind of situation. There we have to take nominal scale, but we have statistical procedures to analyze even nominal scale. One of the best procedure is chi-square test by analyzing them in frequency. That is
Sir, I
that.
didn't get you.
Now,
Sir, can
your
you please
question,
explain?
I will be explaining. Your question is, when nominal scale does not have any kind of magnitude or any kind of direction, what is the necessity of using that scale? Why should we consider about that scale? That is your question.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Nominal scale as it is, it does not have any magnitude or direction. But there is a process of conversion in which we can change the nominal scale data into a frequency data. ଯୋଉଟା ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କହିଲି 100 ଜଣ ପିଲାଙ୍କୁ ଆମେ ନେଲୁ, ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡର ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ 1, ଯୋଉମାନେ ରାଇଟ୍ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡର ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ 2, ଯୋଉମାନେ ବୋଥ ରେଷ୍ଟ୍ରିକ୍ଟିଭ, ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କର ଦିଟାକ ଇକ୍ୱାଲି ଏଫିସିଏଣ୍ଟ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ 3 ଦେଲୁ। ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ନମିନାଲ ସ୍କେଲ। ବଟ୍ ୱି କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଆଉଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ 100 ଯଦି 20 ଜଣ ବାହାରିଲେ ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡର, 25 ଜଣ ବାହାରିଲେ ରାଇଟ୍ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡର, ଆଉ ରେଷ୍ଟ 55 ବାହାରିଲେ ବୋଥ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡର। This gives us a kind of magnitude to analyze the data. ଆମେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଜାଣିବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛୁ ଯେ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାଣ୍ଟଲି ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡେଡନେସ୍ ସିଗ୍ନିଫିକାଣ୍ଟଲି ଡିଫର କରୁଛି କି among population. ସେଠି ଆମେ chi-square test apply କରିକି on this nominal data, we can use statistical procedure to get our conclusion, to get our findings in research. ତେଣୁ nominal scale by process of conversion to frequency can be used are amenable to statistical analysis. ତାଦ୍ୱାରା ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମେ କିଛି statistical analysis କରୁ ଏବଂ ପାଉ, we also get good results. ତେଣୁ nominal scale just don't think that it is a useless or worthless scale. It has also very good use in research. ଯଦିଓ magnitude direction ନାହିଁ, ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଗୋଟେ ତାର magnitude କୁ convert କରୁ nominal
Okay,
frequency.
sir.
Any other
So
question?
there is a basic procedure through which we can convert the nominal scale, and we can get the frequency. And the best way to utilize a nominal scale is using the chi-square test.
No, other tests are not only chi-square, other tests are there, but chi-square is one of the best. Chi-square is
Yes,
one of the best.
yes,
Any,
sir. Thank you, sir.
any other question? Anybody? Now, let us begin. Uh, Yesterday we had discussed about the basic fundamentals of statistics, that is descriptive and inferential statistics, parametric and non-parametric statistics, level of significance, and types of error in hypothesis testing, null hypothesis, research hypothesis. These are some of the common, very fundamental concepts we have discussed yesterday. And now we have to go to some specific issues in statistics, research methodology. And what is that? That is your correlation and regression. Today it is the part of the book that I am to refer and teach is correlation and regression. This is one of the most important, one of the best application of statistics in research, correlation and regression. And a part of the research design called correlational design is devoted to this kind of analysis, correlational research. And today our topic is correlation. Now, first of all, let us be aware about what is a correlation. I think all of you know what is a correlation. Correlation is a kind of statistical program, statistical process, statistical procedure, what you can say, used to estimate the strength of a relationship between two or among more variables. Correlation दुईटा variable भितरे strength of relationship संपर्कर कौन अच्छी strength ताकू estimate करी पारे. And also more than two variables. It's not only that we can find out correlation between two variables, we can also find out correlation among many variables. Correlation means basically it says what are the common things, common source of occurrences, common factors of effect, common thing among these variables. Supposing height and weight, if they have certain correlation, we can estimate that there is something, we can understand that there is something which contributes to a person's height as well as weight. Do you get my point? Then correlation is a kind of statistical procedure by which we get to know about the strength of a relationship among two or more variables. And that strength of a relationship indicates what is the common source of occurrence, what is the common factor affecting both these variables. That we can understand if they have something common. Now, knowing this fact about the correlation, it estimates a relationship. Next thing is that how correlation is measured, or how this relationship is expressed in any kind of numerical value. Correlation is expressed by a numerical value between -1 to +1, and it is called the coefficient of correlation. Coefficient of correlation is expressed as a value between -1 to +1. That we will discuss. Why it is -1, +1, what is that we will discuss. But first of all, we should understand that a correlation coefficient is a measure that indicates the relationship, strength of relationship among two variables or more variables. And that strength of relationship is expressed in a numerical value between -1 to +1. Then the question is, what is -1? -1 is a relationship, is a strong relationship, but it's an opposite relationship. -1 indicates a negative perfect correlation. Means when two variables are so related that increase in one variable has similar decrease in the other variable, then it is a perfect minus correlation. गोटे variable रे जेमती increase हबो, जो rate रे increase हबो, corresponding variable रे सही rate रे जदि decrease हबो, ताहले there will be a perfect minus correlation. -1 indicate, -1 correlation coefficient indicates that these two variables are perfectly negatively related. You can find examples from your life that how two variables are perfectly related. Manakara mu kahibi length of a candle and hours of burning. Gote candle re ame jalilu घंटे जलिले तार तापरे तार लेंथ केते घंटे जलिले तार लेंथ कम याडे जतिकी घंटा बढी बढी जीवो कैंडल लेंथ सेतिकी कमी कमी जीवो सेही प्रोपोर्शनेटली कमी कमी जीवो आमे जदि एही दीटा मेजरमेंट भितरे कोरिलेशन बाहर करिवु देन वी विल हैव ए माइनस कोरिलेशन -1 कोरिलेशन. Similarly, on the other side, if two variables are perfectly positively related, then we will have a +1 correlation. Means increase in one variable has equal corresponding increase in the other variable, then it is a perfect positive correlation. But perfect correlations are very rare things. We do not usually get perfect correlation in kind of situation. Therefore, any value in between -1 to +1 is a correlation coefficient expressed. Now, another important thing, if -1 to +1, there is another concept, 0 in between, exactly in the middle of the scale, there is 0. What is 0 correlation then? 0 correlation is when the two variables are absolutely independent. They don't have any relationship. A does not have anything with B, means there is 0 correlation. This is about the concept of a coefficient of correlation. Now, minus a correlation plus correlation. Minus is indicative of a negative relationship, inverse relationship. Plus is indicative of a positive relationship. But when someone asks you, supposing usually when multiple choice questions, I say minus 0.85 correlation plus 0.73 correlation. Which correlation is stronger? Usually we have a feeling that positive is always stronger. No, in case of a correlation, it is validity. The correlation which has a higher value is always emphasizes on or shows a stronger relationship. So minus plus kebala indicates the direction, but not the magnitude. Magnitude is by the actual value, actual number. That you must know. Now, I told you about what is correlation, what is correlation coefficient, and what is minus 1 to plus 1 correlation. Now, going deep into the structure of the correlation or the model of the correlation, who to ask correlation? Kemiti estimate koruchi relationship. How do we get the estimation of relationship and correlation? Kemiti am paus. Ta purpuru mu tamku jinsa kaya pai chahuchi variance. Ame jete statistics पढ़ुचु जेते इन्फरेंशियल स्टैटिस्टिक्स जहाँ भी अच्छी पैरामेट्रिक हो नॉन पैरामेट्रिक हो समस्तंकर सोर्सेस हला वेरिएंस होची प्राइमरी सोर्स जेमि जेते मैथमेटिक्स पढ़िले भी तार मूल हला तमरो नंबर सिस्टम प्रथम रु 1 2 3 4 5 10 100 पर्यंत न जानिले तमे मैथमेटिक्स रे कोन से आगु को जिबार नाही सेमती वेरिएंस इज द बेसिक फंडामेंटल यूनिट ऑफ स्टैटिस्टिक्स सब ये वेरिएंस कौन वेरिएंस रे कांसेप्ट कोटा आसुची एवं वेरिएंस रे यूज कोटा आसुची जे कोन इन्फ्लुएंशियल स्टैटिस्टिक्स वेरिएंस हला मने करो आमे कहिबू जने टीचर केमिति पाठ पढौची आमे जानिबा पे चाहूछु we want to scientifically estimate how the teacher is teaching or what is the efficiency of the teacher's teaching. Then what we can do? We take some students, take a kind of test on them to estimate what is their standard at the present. Then ask the teacher, request the teacher to teach those students for 6 months. Then after that 6 months, we again take a test of those students. And now we compare the pre-test and the post-test to know. Then if the students during the pre-test, they are not all same. There is some kind of differences among them. But those differences are not due to the teacher. Those differences are due to something else other than the teacher. And if we do not have that idea that how they differ actually before teaching, then we cannot estimate what the teacher has taught after teaching. Therefore, we must have to have the idea about the mean, not only mean, but about the differences among them. That differences, standardized differences, that average differences is called variance. Variance a lot. And we expect that whenever we introduce a kind of variable in any kind of situation, we get a variance, some change. Variance means change, and that is estimated from the mean. And in correlation, that variance is also used. ମୁଁ ତମକୁ କହିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଯେତେ statistical inferential ହଉ ଯେତେ ଅଛି all are only ratio, କେବଳ ratio between true and error variance. ସବୁ statistics true variance by error variance. True variance है the variance caused by the factor that you are interested. Error variance है rest of the things. Any question about this? This is a very important fundamental aspect. किसी पचारिबार अछि कि ट्रू वेरिएंस और एरर वेरिएंस भितर कोन तफात माने आउ तुमको एग्जांपल ले बुझे दूची मन करो तुमको जने कहिला जे तमे ड्राई फ्रूट्स खाइले प्रतिदिन you will be able to reduce your weight नहीं कि तमरो वेट जहाँ अच्छी तमे ड्राई फ्रूट्स खाइलो 5 kg कमी गला. Can you say that the entire 5 kg of reduction in your weight is due to dry foods. You may have other things. You may also have other things in between which has influenced your weight. ତେଣୁ ବେସିକାଲି ହେଉଛି true variance ହେଉଛି part of the variance about which you are interested. Error variance ହେଲା ସେ ପାର୍ଟକୁ ଛାଡ଼ି ଦେଇକିରି ଆଉ ଯାହା ରହିଗଲା that is error variance. Correlation ରେ କ'ଣ ହୁଏ, ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦିଟାକ ଭ୍ୟାରିଏବଲକୁ କୋରିଲେଟ୍ କରୁଛୁ 3 ପ୍ରକାରର ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ ଆମର ସେଠି ଆସେ. ଗୋଟେ variance in the supposing let us say ଯେ x and y ଏ ଦିଟା ହେଲା ଭ୍ୟାରିଏବଲ, ଆମର x measurement ରେ ଗୋଟେ variance ଆସିବ, y measurement ରେ ଗୋଟେ variance ଆସିବ, ଏବଂ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ variance ଆସିବ which is common between x and y, that is called the common variance or the covariance. ତେଣୁ common variance ଯୋଉଟା ଆସିବ x and y ଭିତରେ, that is only the source of commonness between x and y. Height and weight ର measurement ନେଲା ପରେ ଯୋଉଟା common variance ଆସିବ, covariance ଆସିବ, that is being contributed by a common source. ତେଣୁ correlation ର basic fundamental ହେଲା କ'ଣ, କୋଉଠୁ correlation formula ଆସିଛି, covariance by variance of the variable 1 into variance of the variable 2. ବା ଯଦି ଆମର x and y variance ହେଇଛି ତାହେଲେ covariance of x and y divided by variance of x and variance of y. এইটা ହେଲା correlation ର basic fundamental logic formula. x ଆଉ y ଭିତରେ covariance common field of action କ'ଣ ଅଛି, common sources କ'ଣ ଅଛି, ତାକୁ ବାହାର କରିକି ତାକୁ ଅନକମନ ବା ଅଦରୱାଇଜ ସୋର୍ସେସ ଦ୍ୱାରା ହରିଦେଲେ ଯୋଉ ରେସିଓ ଆସୁଛି ସେ ରେସିଓଟା ହେଲା ଆମର କୋରିଲେସନ. ଆଚ୍ଛା, ଯଦି ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଟୋଟାଲ ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ ରୁ ଯଦି କମନ ସୋର୍ସେସ ଅଫ ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ ଟାକୁ ଟୋଟାଲ ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ ରେ ହରି ଦିଆଯାଏ ତାହେଲେ ସବୁବେଳେ କମନ ସୋର୍ସେସ ଅଫ ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ ଟା ଆଇଦର ଇକ୍ୱାଲ ଟୁ ଟୋଟାଲ ହବ ନହେଲେ ଲେସ୍ ଦ୍ୟାନ ଦି ଟୋଟାଲ ହବ. ବୁଝି ହଉଛି ନା ନାଇଁ କନସେପ୍ଟଟା?
No sir.
ବୁଝି ହଉନି?
Sir, ହରିଦେବା ମାନେ? Sir, what is meant by ହରିଦେବା?
ହରିବା?
Yes sir.
Oh, sorry. Divided.
Okay sir.
You just don't know any ନିଶାଣ ଜାଣିନ? ନିଶାଣ କ'ଣ?
Multiplication.
Addition, ମିଶାଣ, subtraction, ଫେଡାଣ, multiplication, ଗୁଣନ, division, ହରଣ. Anyway, let me not use these words. Now, ନାଇଁ ତମେ ଆଗ covariance by variance of the variable 1 and variance of the variable 2. এই কনসেপ্টটা বুঝো. covariance হলো true variance. True variance মানে the source from which the variance has occurred. ଆଉ error variance মানে total আরটা হলো total variance. covariance by total variance. আচ্ছা, total variance টা কোন? ମାନେ ତମକୁ ଏଇ କନସେପ୍ଟଟା ମୁଁ ବୁଝେଇବା ପାଇଁ ଚାହୁଁଛି ଯେ କାହିଁକି କୋରିଲେସନ ଯେ ନମ୍ବର ବିଟୱିନ୍ -1 to +1 ତାଠୁ କାହିଁକି ଅଧିକା ହେଇପାରିବନି. ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ନା ନାଇଁ? ଟୋଟାଲ ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ ର ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟ ହେଲା ଏରର ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟ ହେଲା ଟ୍ରୁ ଭ୍ୟାରିଆନ୍ସ. ରିମେମ୍ବର, total variance in any kind of situation is constituted of true variance plus error variance. এটা বুঝি পাচ্ছ না নাই? True variance ଆଉ error variance added together is the total variance. ତେଣୁ
sir, in total variance ଆମେ common variance को consider କରିବାନି. We just ମାନେ combination of true variance and error variance, but the absence of common variance.
Total variance is the total variance available in both the variables. ତା ଭିତରୁ ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟ ହେଲା true variance, another part is error variance.
Okay sir.
It is composed of, total variance is composed of two things, error variance and true variance. And that, then if we divide either error variance by total variance or true variance by total variance, will it be ever more than 1? Supposing total, let me give you an example. Supposing total variance is 15, what will be error variance? You just say anything. Total variance is 15. What will be the error variance and what will be the true variance? You just say anything.
So true variance will be 10 and error variance will be 5.
Right. It must be either 10, 5, 8, 7, whatever it like that. It will be like that. It cannot be more than, and if we divide 8 by 15, will it be ever more than 1?
No.
No, sir.
No. Whatever may be the true value. In some situation, supposing total variance is 15, is it possible that there is no error and the true variance is 15? That is also a possibility. Error variance is 0 and the true variance is 15. Do you get my point? That is also possibility. 15 is 0. It can be 15 0, it can be 14 1, it can be 13 2, it can be 12 3, anything like that. And if it is 15 0, then what will be the correlation? 15 by 15 is equal to 1. If the total variance is 15, can the true variance be 17?
No.
Can it be 17? No.
Cannot be. No.
It cannot be. Therefore, correlation cannot be more than 1. Unless the value is more than 15, how can it be 1? How can it be more than 1? Always correlation is less than 1. Because correlation is true variance by total variance. And we say the correlation is covariance by variance of the variable 1 into variance of the variable 2. Now, you got to know what is correlation. Now, how to, the relationship, when I say there are different kinds of relationship amongst variables. One is linear relationship, one is curvilinear relationship. And when we estimate the correlation, we assume a linear relationship among the variables. Or the part of the variable that is linearly related can be estimated by the process of our correlation. This is the meaning of correlation. Anything that you want to, so let me cover some other parts of the thing and finally we will discuss. Am I appropriately communicating? Na bujhi houni. Nikki.
Sir, you are appropriately communicating. Yes, the communication is very good.
Very good. Thank you. Anjani, do you listen to me?
Yes. Yes.
Communication. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Now,
Yes, sir.
another important thing. Now, listen to me. Correlation and causality. That is an important issue most of the time asked. Is correlation a causation? Like exercise କରିବା ଦ୍ୱାରା weight management ठीक है आमे देखिलु hours of exercise and reduction in weight, they are negatively, they are positively related. Exercise ଯେତିକି ଅଧିକା କରିବ weight ସେତିକି କମିବ. Suppose आमे तार correlation देखिलु positively related. Someone will ask you, is it right to say that exercise is the cause of weight gain, a weight loss? Here you can say yes, because I have introduced exercise and there is decrease in the weight, then exercise is a cause of weight loss. But in some situations,
there are other factors influencing weight loss, such as proper diet, etc.
That is
maybe
what I am
the person would. Yes, sir.
Now, supposing आमे एमिति दिटा वेरिएबल बाहर करिवु जोटा वेरिएबल नेला को कोरिलेशन बाहरुची Can we say that one variable is the cause of the other always? कौन सेमती variable दीटा को जार correlation बाहरिबो किंतु गोटे variable आ गोटे variable रो कारण नुहे आमे दीटा variable रो डाटा नै कि correlation बाहर कर देले correlation बाहरी पारे किंतु always it doesn't mean that those two correlated variables are one is cause and one is the effect. It is not always true. So by getting a correlation, we cannot always say that there is a causal connection, there is a causal relationship. These are ekati jaikri basichandi canteen re. Seman tankara khauchandi basikri. It doesn't mean that they have a relationship. Jadiyo semane ekati basichandi, that is a kind of ame tanku tin thor khelonu tinta canteen re semane ekati basichandi. Can you say that there is a causal relationship? No, maybe independently it may be some different kinds of association. Same thing, these are variable with a correlation. Even if we get a correlation among two variables, it is not necessarily mean that they have a causal relationship. So researchers have warned that whenever you are getting any correlation, just don't take it for granted that there is a causal relationship. Because by explaining all correlation in terms of causal relationships, you may be doing kinds of bias, kinds of errors in your research. Before explaining any causal relationship, you must have to prove sufficient otherwise grounds to say that yes, this is the correlation and therefore there is a causal relationship. बुझिपारछ ना नहीं causal relationship explain करिया को you must have to have other logics to say. खाली correlation बाहर पड़ला तेम तांको भितरे संपर्क रहिछि से कथा तमें कहि परिबो. Correlation is a statistical indication, but it doesn't mean the reality of the situation. तेणु अनेक समय रे question आसे is correlation causation? The straight answer is no. It's not always causation. Sometimes there may be high degree of correlation, but in fact there is no causation. Yes.
So suppose we take an example of intelligence and with increase of marks, higher the intelligence, the student's marks is also increasing. So we can there is a causal relationship that intelligence is the cause behind. There are also other causes which is the reason for increase in marks, like hard work and all. But we can also, intelligence is also the cause of increase in marks.
No, that is, intelligence is also the cause of increase in marks. That is not being referred by the correlation. Intelligence, right? Supposing you take, let me tell you, supposing you will take the correlation between height and performance in the examination, and there is a correlation. That is a positive, strong positive correlation. Height and performance in the examination. Positive correlation baharla. Kon kahibo? What you will say? Is height causation for performance in the examination?
No.
Do you get my point? Intelligence आसीगला तो मुझे सुविधा आईगला. किंतु height सहित मन कर performance रो correlation बाहरला. Can you take it for granted?
सर आमे एमतिया हाइपोथेसिस नबाही काहे कि लाइक जोडी हमें जानी चुके हबनी बोली.
नहीं, that is hypothesis man सेया तुम कहउछ. That is why you have to take जानी छ ता पूर्वरु तुमको कहिया को पड़िबो जे एटा अपार हेले causation संभावना अछि. That is why what I am explaining. नहीं जणे नै कि मन कर कहला एते correlation बारला, why can't I say height सहित academic performance रो 0.8 correlation बारला. Why can't I say correlation is strength of relationship? Why can't I say? कौन कहिबो ताकू? सेति पे रहिछि तुमको warning, तुमको stricture. जे every correlation you cannot interpret as a causation. In order to say that it is causation, you have to otherwise prove sufficiently. नहले height सहित weight रे height सहित academic रो पळे आसीबो correlation तुम कहबो height जार अधिक से बढ़िया पाठ पढिबो. That is not there. तेणु correlation and causality एटा मु खाली तमर जहा अछि मु तक बुझौ. Correlation is not always the causality. Correlation has to be interpreted as a causality with the background of knowledge and research, reality. Then अच्छा कोरिलेशन केमिति कैलकुलेट करिया को हम से कथा त तुमको एथि कहि हबनी बट there are so many different formula and you can use them in order to calculate the correlation calculate करिया पे विभिन्न फार्मूला अछि तुमको इ करिवो जदी किछि प्रॉब्लम हला but you can ask me otherwise now interpretation of correlation काली मु तुमको कहि correlation by any statistics has to be interpreted by itself. It doesn't have any meaning and there are two parameters of interpretation of any statistics. Dita parameter गोटे हला the value of the statistics आ गोटे हला the degrees of freedom. जे कोनोसी statistics के interpret करिया पहले से तार से value के तमन कर t test interpret correlation interpret करियो. Correlation value itself is not enough to say whether that correlation is a significant correlation or not. You have to find out the degrees of freedom. What is that degrees of freedom? For different statistics, degrees of freedom are different. Same rule is not applied to the degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is, you can take it in that sense. Supposing there are 10 trees in a row, how many gaps are there among the trees? Actual how many differences are there among those trees? 10 टा गछ अछि तांका भितर केतेटा गैप अछि
10.
10 टा गछ भितर 10 टा गैप
Yes, sir, we can say that.
10 टा गछ जदि रहि
No, sir, it's 5.
10 टा गछ भितर 9 टा गैप 5 नहीं. Anyway, degrees of freedom is always the number of cases being dealt with minus 1. And here in correlation, we have two sets of data, X and Y. Supposing there are 12 data, X and Y, correlation is n minus 1. 11 is the correlation, is a degrees of freedom. 11 is the degrees of freedom. Now, when you find the degrees of freedom and then you have your correlation, supposing you have your correlation 0.76, 0.76. Now you want to say whether these two variables are actually related, they have some commonness or not, then you have to find out the significance of correlation. That is called interpretation. Above customarily, we try to check the significance at two levels. What are those two levels? 0.05, 0.01. If you find a significance, any question about this? 0.05 and 0.1. What is that? Yesterday I told you something about that. Supposing you got a correlation of 0.75 and you have to, in order to check whether that correlation is actually a significant correlation or not, you have to search for the table of correlation value. There is some standardized table given in books, in net, everywhere you will find those standardized tables. And with reference to your degrees of freedom in the row, you will have to find out the correlation value that is significant for this degrees of freedom. Table re tome manakara 0, 1 re ago dekhilo significant. With 12 degrees of freedom, 0, 1 level re table value hela 0.84. तमे पाइचो 0.75 कौन कहबो तमरो सिग्निफिकेंट ना इनसिग्निफिकेंट तमरो टेबल वैल्यू हैला 0.84 तमे कोरिलेशन पाइचो 0.75 तम कोरिलेशन सिग्निफिकेंट ना नॉट सिग्निफिकेंट कौन कहबो सुमित्रा टेबल वैल्यू
सर मुझे कंफ्यूज अछि कोरे टेबल वैल्यू
है 0.84 तमे जो कैलकुलेशन करी वैल्यू
0.8.
सेटा हला 0.75 सिग्निफिकेंट ना इनसिग्निफिकेंट टेबल वैल्यू बड़ तम वैल्यू सान सिग्निफिकेंट ना इनसिग्निफिकेंट
So significant.
आउ कि कहबो टेबल वैल्यू बड़ तम वैल्यू सान अंजनी
So significant. Significant, sir.
निकी
So significant.
all three of you are wrong
Thank you, sir.
टेबल वैल्यू गोटे जिनस मन रख when the table value is larger table value is larger it is insignificant এই কনসেপ্ট को मन रख नल सब कंफ्यूजन में पड़ी when the table value is larger then it is insignificant do you get my point तेणु तुम टेबल वैल्यू जदि लार्जर है 0.01 रे ताले इनसिग्निफिकेंट हो गला तेणु तुम तापर नेक्स्ट जीव 0.5 जदि 0.1 रे इनसिग्निफिकेंट हला 0.5 रे काले सिग्निफिकेंट हबो बिकॉज़ यू वांट योर स्टैटिस्टिक्स टू बी सिग्निफिकेंट सेमदी 0.5 रे जदि टेबल वैल्यू लार्जर हो गला ताले तुमर कोरिलेशन इनसिग्निफिकेंट एटा गोटे इंपोर्टेंट कांसेप्ट सब बेले सब पिला कंफ्यूज रहउथि always remember if table value is larger it is insignificant आउ किछ भाबी आउ किछ से विषय कहबो गला तेणु interpretation of correlation हला there are three interpretations one p is greater than 0.1 এই কনসেপ্ট को तुमको आउ थरे कहूची P is greater than 0.1 significant ना insignificant P is greater than 0.01 significant ना insignificant किए कहबो
So significant.
significant P माने कौन what is P
So the table value.
Probability of error.
P हाँ कौन
Probability of error.
हाँ
Probability of error.
Probability of
P
error.
probability of error P is greater than 0.1 जदि probability of error एक रु अधिक हला error टा जदि अधिक हला से significant ना insignificant
Not
not
significant.
significant
Not significant.
तेणु P is greater than 0.1 रो अर्थ हला not significant significant नहीं कारण error एक रु अधिक केतेबेले significant बोली कहबो सेठी कोन लिखा हबो P is less than
Lesser
0.1
than.
एटा मन रख
Smaller than 0.1.
less than 0.01 हेले significant more less than हेले significant more than हेले insignificant ए कांसेप्ट को रिलेट करो सब हला तेनु significant हेले मानकर गोटे कोरिलेशन वैल्यू significant हला कोन कहबो तमे व्हाट यू विल से अबाउट दैट हाइट और वेट रो कोरिलेशन वैल्यू significant हला तमे कोन कहबो से विषय रे हाइट वेट रो संपर्क अछि
Increase in height.
हां
Increase in height leads to increase in weight.
means that is a positive relationship height
Yes,
and
sir.
weight they have a positive relationship height अधिका हेले weight अधिका हो and by saying this whether you are accepting your null hypothesis or research hypothesis
Research
Tame
hypothesis.
you are accepting the research hypothesis hela tene interpretation of correlation बुझिलो next is अच्छा कैलकुलेशन प्रैक्टिस करिवो तमु कहली एवं कोरिलेशन तमे ठीक रे कैलकुलेट कलो कि नाही से कथा जानिबा पाई what is the program that I have told you to use को प्रोग्राम रे तमे
So versus statistics.
भाषा statistics अंजनी are you acquainted with भाषा statistics?
Yes, sir.
Who told you?
Sir?
Who told you to use भाषा statistics?
So you told us in +3.
अच्छा, ठीक है. Now, next is other types of correlation. अच्छा, दीटा नहीं. Let me now tell you about two types of correlation. One is product movement correlation, and the other one is product movement correlation.
So rank order.
Spearman.
Rank order correlation.
Spearman correlation.
Rank order correlation is a parametric or non-parametric statistic. Rank order correlation.
Non-parametric.
So rank order non-parametric.
Rank order non-parametric. And the product movement
Parametric.
Parametric.
parametric. Thank you. For product movement parametric, rank order non-parametric. What is the scale used in rank order correlation? Rank order correlation रे कोई scale use होची?
Nominal scale and ordinal scale.
Nominal and ordinal.
No. It's only ordinal. If
Ordinal.
the nominal scale रे थिले product movement में rank order correlation भी use ହେଇପାରିବନି. Rank order correlation is calculated only when the data is in ordinal scale. And the product movement is calculated when the data is in interval or ratio scale.
Yes, sir.
Rank order correlation formula 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n into n square minus 1. परिचय दीदी लिखिनियो 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n into n square minus 1. Then what is d here? What refers
So
to d?
the differences between two ranks.
Two scores. Score rank, sorry. The differences between the rank of X and the rank of Y. Then supposing you are
Yes, sir.
given to carry out a rank order correlation. I told you that rank order correlation is to be carried out on the data when the data is in ordinal scale. But sometimes in the examination we are asked to carry out rank order correlation when the data is given in interval scale. बुझी पारछ ना नहीं आमको डाटा इंटरवल स्केल रे दिया हितबो परीक्षा रे कुआ हितबो रैंक ऑर्डर कोरिलेशन कर. This is actually not to be done. जदि इंटरवल स्केल रे डाटा अच्छी, why should we go for rank order correlation? We can carry out product movement correlation, and product movement correlation is more authentic and more powerful than rank order correlation. बुझी होची ना नहीं?
So but the data should be normally distributed for parametric statistics.
हाँ पैरामेट्रिक सही जगह रे जदि नॉर्मली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड न होईची से जगह रे हमें प्रोडक्ट मूवमेंट कोरिलेशन करि परिबो. देन वी हैव टू चेंज द डाटा. सेति में हमको रैंक करियो. तेनु डी हला द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द रैंक्स ऑफ x and y, and then you apply that formula 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n is the number of cases in the correlation, number of cases in the correlation. मन कर 12 टा x 12 टा y, then the number is 12, not 12 plus 12. n is 12. बुझी परछ ना नहीं? x रे 12 टा संख्या अछि, y रे 12 टा संख्या अछि. तल से कोरिलेशन रो n केते?
So 24.
24. No. 12.
12.
It is not 24. x रे 12 टा y रे 12 टा मिसिक 24 हबनी. 12 टा केवल तकर n हला 12. ए 12 सब एटा भूल करन के अनेक समय पिला.
I was right.
आ गुड दिन साला x
Yes,
रे
were made in China.
What?
Yes, sir. C is made in China, so she is unable to understand Odia and all.
ओहो अच्छा अच्छा
ଏ ତ ମାଡ ଖାଇବ ତ ସେମିତି ହଅନି କ୍ଲାସ ଚାଲିନି ଏଟା ଅନଲାଇନ କ୍ଲାसेସ୍ ରେକର୍ଡିଂ ହଉଛି ସେମିତି ହଅନି
how ठीक है now listen to me and now the number is 12 that you know and then next thing is in the rank order correlation even if there is interval scale we can convert that interval scale into the ordinal scale by assigning ranks and then go for correlation 1 minus 6 sigma d square by n into n square minus 1. Achha, now about product movement correlation. Can you say any one formula about product movement correlation? I am telling you one formula, the short formula. We call it the short formula. The short formula is sigma x dashed y dashed by n minus cx cy by whole by standard deviation x, standard deviation y, root over. Sigma x dashed y dashed, that I'll give you. Now, what is the next thing? Different types of correlation. गोटे हमें जानिले product movement correlation, गोटे जानिले rank order correlation. Any question about product movement and rank order correlation?
no sir
Any question?
no
No.
so mane for now we don't have any question if any questions emerges in our mind further we'll definitely let you know
हाँ, ठीक है. Thank you. Now next thing is other types of correlation. That is rank order, product movement, and besides that, there are other kinds of correlations also. One is biserial correlation. Do you have any idea about what is biserial correlation? Biserial and a point biserial.
No, sir.
In
No,
fact,
sir.
that is what I am telling. Point biserial. When the data, one of the data is in dichotomous scale. Supposing you got some score on two dimensions, yes and no. This is called a dichotomous scale. Either yes or no, either 0 or 1. If such data is there about one variable, we cannot go for either product movement correlation or rank order correlation. If one of the data is in a dichotomous scale, then we have to choose a different kind of a correlation called biserial correlation. And particularly when one data is in dichotomous scale and the other data is in interval scale, we have a kind of correlation called point biserial correlation. Then depending on the data, nature of the data, we have to choose what correlation we are going to do. If it is interval scale, ratio scale, we can go for product movement correlation. If it is ordinal scale or interval scale without assumption of normality, we can go for rank order correlation. And if the data is in dichotomous scale, if one of the data is in dichotomous scale, we have to go for point biserial correlation. Now, next is phi coefficient. Do you listen to me? Next
Yes,
is
sir.
phi coefficient. What is phi coefficient? When both the data are in dichotomous, you don't have. When one data is dichotomous, you have point biserial correlation, and when both the data in dichotomous, you have phi coefficient. These are all different forms of coefficient. Correlation.
sir how
Now,
can data be in dichotomous
anything-
scale like in question sir, how can data be in a dichotomous scale? Like while using questionnaire method, we generally get the data in yes or no, agree
is
or
it why my
disagree, that kind of.
sound has dropped?
So because you got a call.
Am I audible to you, Nikki?
Sir, yes, sir, you're audible to us. You have got a call. You should check
No,
once.
I am not able to listen. Something is wrong. Sound is dropped. Some problem in the sound system. Anjani,
Yes, sir.
you asked me something. Is it? Am I audible to
Sir,
you? Am
yes,
I
sir.
audible to you? But your
Yes,
voice is.
sir. So
I am
you
not
can
able to
increase
listen
the
to you.
volume. So you can increase the volume by
My
that
volume is in
button, side button.
full. I have my full volume.
So maybe because you got a call in between, that's why this problem is coming.
What kind of problem is there? Something wrong with some in that?
Sir, we should disconnect and we should, I mean, you should leave the
Reconnect
meeting and you should join once again.
again. Yeah.
No, my voice is clearly audible to you,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
but your voice is very faint. All your voice, I'm not able to listen to you. Anyway, let me just if you listen to me, just listen to me. Let me tell you things.
Okay, sir.
Now, I told you about rank order correlation, product movement correlation, biserial correlation, and phi coefficient. These are different types of. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Now it's audible. Now, now we have discussed about rank order correlation, product movement correlation, biserial and point biserial correlation, and then phi coefficient.
Excuse
Is
me, sir.
that
So what is the difference between biserial and point biserial correlation?
biserial and point biserial correlation difference is when both variables are in dichotomous scale, we use biserial correlation, and that is phi coefficient. And when one variable is in dichotomous scale and the other in interval scale, we use point biserial correlation. That is the difference.
Okay, sir.
Now, null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis, I have already told you, and Spearman correlation, product movement correlation, and now basic aspects of a correlation we have covered. And the next is regression. Other things are there, but because this, one class is allotted to teach all those things, correlation and regression. Therefore, it is my choice just to speak about the basic fundamentals of those kind of things. Now, what is regression? Regression is a statistical instrument for prediction. It is a statistical process for prediction. What is that? If we know that two variables are related, if we know that the relationship of the strength of the relationship among the two variables, then it will be possible for us to predict one variable from the other. Do you get the point? If you know that these two variables are related to this extent, then given one variable we can say about the other variable to some extent, and that is what is called regression. Regression means basing on the relationship of a correlation, we can estimate another variable from one variable. Supposing we know that there is height and weight, they have a correlation of 0.76, and that is they have a good correlation among them. There is height and weight, they have some causative relationship, the correlation among them. Then given somebody's height, we can predict his or her weight. This is possible. That part of the statistical analysis is called regression. Regression means predicting one variable from another variable on the basis of their correlation. And this is important statistical process in research, because when we find correlation about some certain variables, we can help ourselves to create an equation of regression. And the regression is always developed as an equation from correlation. Let me tell you what is regression. And a regression is when you say that x and y variable are related. In fact, in the process of correlation, we have a kind of geometrical representation of the variables, which is called scattergram. Scattergram means if you plot each of the variables, taking each of the measure x and y in a graphical presentation. आमे मनकर सब्जेक्ट ए एक नंबर सब्जेक्ट तार हाइट है 5 फुट वेट है 45 केजी आमे एक्स एक्सिस रे वेट वाई एक्सिस रे हाइट नहीं करी आमे ताको ग्राफिकल स्पेस भीतर गोटे प्रेजेंटेशन दे परिबु ना नहीं दे परिबु बुझी परछ ना नहीं जनकर हाइट है 5 फुट वेट है 50 केजी आमे ताको ग्राफ भीतर एक्स एक्सिस रे हाइट बा वेट जहाँ भी हो वाई एक्सिस रे हाइट एक्स एक्सिस रे वेट वाई एक्सिस रे हाइट नेले वाई एक्सिस रे हाइट रु एक्स एक्सिस रे वेट नहीं करी ग्राफ स्पेस भीतर ता पई गोटे पॉइंट आमे प्लेस करि परिबु ना नहीं बुझी परछ ना नहीं
यस सर
सेमती आमर मानकर 100 जन पिलांकर हाइट वेट नहीं से जो 100 जन पिलांकर हाइट वेट आमे नहीं ताकू गोटे ग्राफिकल प्लॉट रे आमे प्रेजेंट करि परिबु ना नहीं फॉर एवरी सब्जेक्ट आमे गोटे गोटे पॉइंट प्लेस करि परिबु ग्राफ भीतर हाइट वेट नहीं एंड दैट रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ प्लॉट्स पॉइंट्स आर कॉल्ड स्कैटरग्राम स्कैटरग्राम हला सही रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ पॉइंट्स एवं रिग्रेशन is a line drawn along the scattergram to give the best line of fit. से जो पॉइंट गुड़ाक थी ता मझे गोटे एमती गार आम मु ताणीबी जोटुकी डेविएशन गुड़ाकर पॉइंट सब मिनिमम हम एटा इमेजिनेशन रे एक्चुअली पढ़ेबाटा भारी कष्ट ब्लैक बोर्ड रे बुझिपारुच कॉन्सेप्ट तमरा स्कैटर प्लॉट है प्रति इंडिविजुअल रो स्कैटर प्लॉट है प्रति इंडिविजुअल रो एक्स एंड वाई वेरिएबल को लेकिन कोऑर्डिनेट गुडा को प्लॉट करना एक्स कोऑर्डिनेट वाई कोऑर्डिनेट को लेकिन तार पॉइंट गुडा को प्लॉट करना तेणु स्कैटर प्लॉट भितर जिते पॉइंट रहिला ता भितर गोटे बेस्ट फिट लाइन ड्रॉ करबा होची रिग्रेशन लाइन इज द बेस्ट फिट लाइन ड्रॉन अलोंग द स्कैटर पॉइंट्स इन द स्कैटर प्लॉट बेस्ट फिट लाइन कोन आमे एमिति गोटे लाइन नबु ताले ताठु सब पॉइंट गुड़ाकर डेविएशन टा मिनिमम दैट इज कॉल्ड द बेस्ट फिट लाइन and that gives you the regression equation and in that you have linear regression you have multiple regression and you have hierarchical regression जो concept गुड़ा को verbally कहि हबो म सेही concept गुड़ा कहि दूची आउ किछि concept अछि जोटा कि ब्लैक बोर्ड न हले कहबा संभव नहि जेमति कि म कहूची स्कैटर प्लॉट रु केमिति जीवो सेमति रिग्रेशन इक्वेशन रो कोऑर्डिनेट्स केमती बाहरिबो ए सब जिंस तेणु हेलो मोर पुणी गोटे कॉल आसला मत ड्रॉप कर जीव now linear regression multiple regression hierarchical regression तीनटा जिंस तो linear regression हला when you have two variables and on the basis of one variable you predict another and in the total condition you have two variables that is a linear regression supposing height and weight you draw an equation of height and weight regression equation and given height you can find out weight and given another you can draw another equation and given weight you can find out height when these two things are related and you are finding out regression equation then you are carrying out a linear regression but sometimes it is also required to have multiple regression. What is multiple regression? Supposing you have same weight, height, food habits, exercise, these are factors contributing to your weight. And you found different measures of these three things along with weight. Height, माने खाइबा अभ्यास, exercise time, सब गुड़ा को बाहर करी तमे height सहित ए weight सहित correlation बाहर कलो. Then when you will be predicting the weight from all these sources, how weight is influenced by three of these sources, it is called multiple regression. Or when you use more than one dependent variable in order to predict your independent variable, it is a multiple regression. Linear hala 1 to 1, multiple hala more to 1, more variables to 1, and hierarchical hala when you predict a variable from a set of variables one by one by introducing one. प्रथम आगो variable introduce हबो माने weight predict करा होची first you introduce height, then you see what is the regression, then height सहित you introduce food habit along with height, then you find out the regression, then in the third step you introduce another variable. Likewise, if you go on stepwise regression, you are engaging in hierarchical regression. And this is in nutshell about what is regression. And for today, the matter is over. anything that you want to ask me the last 5 minutes? କିଏ କ'ଣ ପଚାରିବାର ଅଛି କି?
So in hierarchical regression, so for example, in first step, I predict weight from height.
ହଁ
So in the next step, I will predict weight from height and the dietary habits.
yes,
So height will remain there,
I do remain there, and that is whatever
and
what,
then I'll add.
whatever increment will be there in the regression coefficient, that will indicate that is the height. By giving height, you have some kind of regression coefficient. Supposing it is
Yes, sir.
0.34, and then by adding the another variable, if 34 becomes 758, that difference is due to the third introduction. गोटे इंट्रोड्यूस हम एवं चेंज टा देखा कौन कौन हो से जना पड़ो जे किए केते कंट्रीब्यूट करूची. You get the idea?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
One by one, multiple all at one time, and the total given all of them together, how much they are contributing. You get one parameter, one index about multiple, but you will get more index in hierarchical for each one by one, step by step. That is called step by step regression. Any question? Any further question? Regression को actually blackboard. What?
Sir, how can a data lie in a dichotomous scale? For example, we use questionnaire method.
If you are asking
and
either
data lies.
data, if you are
Yes, sir.
no, data, if the subject is asked to say either yes or no, you have read a statement, the subject is say yes or no, then the data is dichotomous, and you have a
Yes,
scale
sir, then
0 1. You have a scale 0 1.
Sir, but-
Yes is,
Okay.
but
Sir, but after collecting data, like in dichotomous scale, we score the data and we convert the data. So how can we say that the data lies in a dichotomous scale?
no, convert means whatever the data is either a 0 or 1. What can you
Sir,
convert? What more?
सर हमें स्कोर मैंने ताको स्कोर करूछु ना डाटा को लेके स्कोरिंग ऑफ डाटा इज आल्सो
You are asking that.
method.
Actually, listen to me. This point biserial correlation is usually used in kind of test development. In test development, supposing item number 1, you know what is item analysis. In item analysis, supposing a person is developing a test of supposing test of sociability, and she has prepared 25 items, and one of the method is to find out the inter-item correlation, means item 1 and the rest of the items, correlation of the rest of the value of item 1, how it is correlated with the rest of the items. बुझी पारुछ मु कोन कहूची ओडिया रे कहि देबी कि ओडिया रे
Yes,
क्या
sir.
बेटर ओडिया रे कहि देबी.
हाँ सर किसी प्रॉब्लम नहीं.
हाँ तमें मन ए जो पॉइंट बाइसिरियल कोरिलेशन एटा साधारणतः भाबरे यूज हुए टेस्ट डेवलपमेंट. तमें जेते गोटे नुवा टेस्ट तयारी करिवो से टेस्ट गोटे आइटम एनालिसिस प्रोसेस देकरी डेवलप करा जाए एवं प्रति आइटम टा आइटम नंबर 1 रे मन करो एस नो अछि तेणु आइटम नंबर 1 रे 1 बा 0 पाइबो एवं आउ 20 आइटम मन करो टोटल अछि आउ 19 आइटम रे से कोन पाइला तेणु आइटम नंबर 1 रे 1 आउ 19 आइटम रे 15 सेमती सेकेंड सब्जेक्ट आइटम नंबर 1 रे 0 आउ 19 आइटम रे 12 एमती हेकरी जेते 20 जण सब्जेक्ट कर स्कोर तुमको आसी जिवो से स्कोर टा केमिति थिबो एक्स्ट्रा थिबो 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 ए बळिया रहइबो आरोटा रहइबो इंटरवल स्केल.
यस सर.
सेही जगह रे पॉइंट बाय सीरियल कोरिलेशन हो. Point by serial correlation has a very limited use, particularly in finding out inter-item correlation. Generally use करा जाएनी. जेतले टेस्ट डेवलपमेंट करा जाए प्रति आइटम को अन्य आइटम सहित अन्य समस्त आइटम सहित कोरिलेशन देखिबा पे पॉइंट बाय सीरियल कोरिलेशन करा जाय. That is a particularly used in test development. बुझी हला पॉइंट बाय सीरियल कोरिलेशन के निकी बुझी परलो
Again,
माने
sir.
एक नंबर आइटम टा कोन ठीक ना भूल जानिया पे 50 जन पिलांकर एक नंबर आइटम रो स्कोर न एक नंबर आइटम रो स्कोर कोन हिथिबो तार एक नले सुनु
Again.
आउ जो 19 आइटम रहिला तार कोन स्कोर सोडा देखि से अनुसार करबो हला आउ कोन प्रश्न
Yes, sir. So now I'm getting. So it is not used basically in in normal research we use
No.
really. Just for test
हाँ,
development we use biserial and point
नॉर्मल
biserial.
नॉर्मल रिसर्च पे यूज हुए सेमिति जदि कार कंडीशनल नॉर्मल रिसर्च से आसिला जने पाइबा से किंतु यूज हुए लार्जली फॉर आइटम एनालिसिस ताको कहा जाए इंटर आइटम कंसिस्टेंसी.
Yes.
अच्छा आउ कोन प्रश्न अछि एनीथिंग एल्स नाउ फॉर टुडे इट्स ओवर. Tomorrow I have also the class for the third unit. I have to, I have to be very hurried. Just very important things I am discussing. In 4 days, I have to complete all the statistics, all the 4 units, and therefore get ready. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.